bring value and get out of your comfort zone. If you want to win 2024, I think it's so easy. Look, if you want to bring value, listen empathetically. If you need someone that knows AI, knows marketing, knows advertising, has been an entrepreneur and has been in the trenches, I'd love to talk. And I said very authentically, I believe what you're doing is the way of the future.
Real estate agents, are you looking to acquire clients consistently to grow your business and income for a great lifestyle? Well, this is Dave Finale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and the Modern Agent team.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just making notes of something I need to do. I always do that. I will always have a notebook open. And if you see my head go down, it's because I'm writing notes or reading notes. So I want to welcome Drew Thompson. Drew Thompson, as I said, is the head coach and head of Real Academy at Real Brokerage. Drew, you've been with other great companies. You've done a lot of great things, but the thing that you've always been able to do is you've always been able to help people drive their businesses through things that are really, I mean, they're obvious, but we need to be told them a lot. But before I start talking about you, I'm going to have you talk about you. But before we do that, I got a question. And the question is, what does TGIF stand for?
Oh my goodness. Thank God it's Friday, but oh my goodness. You told me this before, bro. I totally forgot.
It's right in front of you, man. Just read this frame. Right in front of you.
Real Estate Talk. Thank God it's finale.
There you go. Is that so hard?
Yeah, I got it.
A big shot like you couldn't get that easy, but that's okay. Leo Pareja didn't get it either, so that's okay. Anyway, no, I love you, Leo. Anyway, Drew, talk to me about your journey. I mean, you're inspirational to a lot of people. I love your content. I always tell you that. And that's actually how we met. You talking about content at a NowRep event. So talk to me about how you got from A to Z.
So my background, I started out working in advertising. I was always curious by what made people choose Pepsi over Coke, Dave, right? So from there, working in advertising, I started my own ad agency in New York City, quickly grew that, but I quickly realized it was super hard to be able to run an agency, service clients, and scale without having the right team in place. So I learned the hard way. Ended up closing that shop, going to go work for a client. Hard lesson in entrepreneurship, but gave me the chance to just dive in deeper to consumer behavior and understanding why people do what they do and make the decisions that they make. After a couple of years, I said, you know what? Real estate looks like something I've always wanted to try. And I had my mother-in-law over here, bless her heart, amazing, saying, Drew, you should be a real estate agent. I was like, nah, I kind of want to have a job. She's like, you'd be great at it. Best decision ever. So I went and I sold real estate for Coldwell Banker for a number of years. Amazing place to cut my teeth. It was funny, Dave, is what I realized that during that time, I spent 65 to 70% of my time coaching other agents on how to market, create content, and just do better and present themselves in an authentic light that connected with people versus this super polished real estate agent we see on TV. And so it just, it was like what is that called? A God wink, where all of a sudden it's like, Drew, you should be doing this, not selling homes. Well, I love selling homes. It was working with people and watching the agents in the office use the tactics, skills, strategies that I would coach them on to go out and be successful. Watching one of them pick up their phone and say, hey, check this out. I'm able to record a video here that is just me talking about my life. And 3 people got back to me and said, hey, I really connect with you. I would love to have a further conversation about selling our house. So I had a chance to go and work for some amazing leadership at Coldwell Banker, which eventually evolved into being their head coach. So running a coaching program that we were scaling across the country. Crazy part is, Dave, that at that time I was consistently looking for who was doing it best in the market. Right. What were the agents that were creating the content, marketing, showing their authentic selves, and doing well and consistently selling homes. And one person I'd followed for a very long time, and you know him as well, but that's Sharon Travaza. I'd always admired the way he showed up consistently and the way he poured himself into the industry, saying, hey, we want to make the entire industry better. So one day I'm sitting on the couch, true story, sitting on the couch with my son, Landon, who's now 15 months old. I think he was like 5 months old at that time. Feeding him a bottle. I pick up my phone, and I knew Sharon through Instagram. We'd never met, but I just picked it up, recorded the video. And I said, hey, Sharon, hey, if you need someone that is knows AI, knows marketing, knows advertising, has been an entrepreneur and has been in the trenches. I'd love to talk. And I said very authentically, I believe what you're doing is the way of the future. This idea of collaboration and community versus
Right.
competition, and
Right.
helping the entire industry. And I said, listen, very clearly, if you need someone, I'd love to come join the mission that you're doing. I'd love to build the ship that you're building. If not, I just keep going. The industry needs it. And it was crazy as he got right back. And that started a 4-month conversation, which eventually led to me coming over here to Real. So at Real, I run something called Real Academy, which is where we take all the secrets of all the top agents in our company. They all say, hey, let me share this with everybody. Then they get into our learning management system and they share a masterclass. This is how I do red carpet closings. This is how I use AI. This is how I create content. All the secrets, and we just give them away. So it's such a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, it is truly the work hard, be kind. That's our ethos.
So I want to comment on that because I think it's so important what you just said, and
Yeah.
I want this will be my blanket comment is I've been like this for a long time. As everybody knows, I was a franchisee for a major corporation, a major real estate franchise company. And I believe all those old brokerages are broken. I think they're done. I think they're gone. That's my personal opinion. If anybody out there that knows me, that's in knows, I apologize. I love you, but your franchises suck. But beside the point is what Drew just said, and I'm with EXP. He's with Real, very similar companies. And what he said, we both do really, really well. And, it's a matter of preference, and that's cool, right? And competition is a fantastic thing. But the brokerages that we're competing with each other and against each other, you could say, is that we're on the same level, right? All the other ones are different levels. We're not broken. We're new. We're innovative. We're moving forward. And I want to just tell everybody out there, like, you know what? You want to scale, you want to grow. It's all about adoption of your ideals and what you want to build, right? Mm-hmm. What these different brokerages do is it gives you more allowance to do that and supports you in doing that. Because like you said, and we do it too, is all the top people are out there helping everybody in the organization grow. It's not like that's my secret, I can't show you, or it's me. Doesn't happen in our brokerages for the most part.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And Dave, to that point, listen, our brokerages, they may not be for everybody. Every brokerage has a person that it's for, right? The legacy brokerages, they fit with people, and that's okay. That's great. Our mission here, and I'm sure you can resonate with this, our mission here is to just lift the entire industry. We did a whole entire NAR playbook, and it became a playbook for the industry where we just opened this up and Sharon said, let's give this away. Let's help agents. Let's change the way people see real estate agents. We are here to serve the good ones, you, me. We're here to serve others. And how can I equip you to do that and not be transactional?
I think the way to do that is to get basically right in to the content I talked about that I appreciate that you do. And there's a lot of things that agents need to do. I mean, I saw you spoke a lot about AI, but there's a lot of things that people talk about today. And there's a couple of things that are there's two things that we hear a lot. When it talks about when this NAR thing this year, Drew, was about everybody had to start bringing value. I heard that so many times I wanted to throw up, right? Because anybody you talk to, no matter who they were, whether they were a new agent, a crappy agent, a great agent, we all heard that phrase. The other one, which we'll get into as well, is get out of your comfort zone. We all know that. Mm-hmm. But Beth's like, blah, blah, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about value. How does one bring value without telling people they're bringing value? And the answers are voluminous. So hit me with that one as far as content is concerned.
So if I'm bringing value, I mean, you're right. First off, those are the buzzwords right now. Bring value and get out of your comfort zone. If you want to win 2024, I think it's so easy. Look, if you want to bring value, listen empathetically. That's like, say it again, listen empathetically. It doesn't mean, let me bring value by educating you real quick on what's going on in the market. Well, you could be educating someone who already knows. You could be educating someone who reads the Wall Street Journal every single day. You could be educating someone who has an incredible real estate portfolio and they follow everything that's happening. Right. Your job is to ask the right questions and see, hey, would this be helpful? Like, for instance, I have one person that I coach, and he coaches an entire team. And when he finishes his conversation with clients, it's always starts out with, hey, how can I help? Like, how's your business? Like, how can I help? And then digs into that. And then at the very end, it's like, would it be helpful if I were to just send this recap in an email? Would it be helpful if I were to give you this? Would it be helpful if X, Y, or Z? You see how soft that is, Dave? Like, that's getting out of your own way. That's getting out of your comfort zone, because someone could come there and say, no, that wouldn't be helpful. Okay, cool. Thanks for telling me that. Is there any other way I can help you? But people aren't ready. That they fear that for rejection. Well, at the end of the day, it's just having a conversation. Hey, would that be helpful? Let me hear your story. Let me see where I fit, because then I know if I can serve.
But then they're going to say, when we're talking about a conversation, right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about that, and they're going to say, well, they're going to hang up on me, or they're going to do that. I say good, right? It just gives you another reason to call back the next day.
Sure.
When we talk about, let's talk about just one thing about calls and showing value on a call. That's tough, right? That's tough, because everybody's calling them and pounding them, but it's the way you start the conversation. Would it be helpful? Did you hear about? Did you know about? Were you aware of? Those kinds of questions that we're going to ask people as openers, rather than saying, hey, I'm doing a quick survey of all the sale by owners in the area, and I was wondering, when you move, where are you moving to? Okay, great Mike Ferry script, still fantastic. And the reason it's so good is the word survey, simply because that gets you away from do not call. But anyway, I digress. But bringing value on a phone and getting rejected from asking those questions, what's the next step, though?
So, all right, you and I, we may agree or disagree. I hate cold calling. It is not my jam. It's not my lane of genius. And if I'm going to cold call FSBOs, you got to be ready, first off, to say 95% of the other agents are calling FSBOs. It's where everybody's fishing, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to fish there too, it's simply a chance to get in front of the other person. I think that too often the agents that I see, the agents that are not successful with calling FSBOs, is how can I understand their motivations on this phone call so that I can create an emotional connection and get them to see that I'm a little bit different, right? Because we all want to be different agents.
Right.
It's simple as this. A FSBO call is to get you in the room. A FSBO call is to get you to go see the house. And then it's your job, when you're in the house, to create real empathy, to lead with empathy, to lead with kindness, to realize that, okay, why are you selling this on your own? Is it because you want to make more money? Is it because you hate real estate agents? What's that reason?
Right.
Because once I understand that reason, I may be able to help. I may not, but get in the room.
And that's the hard part of, even with content, you don't want to throw out the same kind of shit that everybody's throwing out there, because you look like everybody else. You said it yourself, that what we see on TV, right? I mean, it's funny now. You talk to buyers and sellers, says, no, that's not real. Or you talk to newer agents, that's not real, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it's done. Understand, all that shit you see is staged, right? But nobody wants to hear that. So bringing value has a lot to do with not what you say, but how you say what you say. And what I mean by that is, that script I reeled off before, if you say it a different way, you're going to show value just by how you're saying it. It's intonation. It's a lot of things. Your content is about intonation and a lot of things as well. All right. So we talked about content and bringing value. We're going to talk about stories in a little while. Talk to me about the other buzz phrase of, you got to get out of your comfort zone. When people hear that, they say, yeah, you're right. I got to be uncomfortable. But people don't want to be uncomfortable. Is there a trigger for someone aside from their wallet to get them out of their comfort zone?
I think once they get that first success, Dave. So if you want to get that first success and understand what it feels like to really get outside of your comfort zone, it starts with listening. It starts with leaning in and asking the questions and letting the client, letting the prospect, letting your sphere tell you what's on their heart, tell you things, tell you, hey, I'm looking for a home for this reason. That gets you out of your comfort zone, because staying in the comfort zone is saying, I'm just going to do these scripts. I'm going to do it over and over and over again. Insanity. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Now, I think with like content, you do have to do the same thing over and over again and continually tweak it over and over so it gets better until you get that first result of actually selling, of a lead coming from a video, right? But when it comes to getting out of your comfort zone in front of a client, here's how I recommend. Step one, download ChatGPT. You knew it was going here, buddy. Download ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, I got questions on in parallel, so go ahead.
Download Chat. Pay $20. Open up the advanced voice mode here, right? That's the little blue dot. And then I can say, hey, I'm going to go talk to a client and I'm really, really nervous about it. Their house hasn't sold. I need to really get out of my comfort zone here and I want to ask some empathetic questions. Can we role play this? And if we can, just jump right in. You be the client and then, yeah, let's go.
Sure, let's jump right in. Hi, I'm your client looking to sell my house. How can I help you today?
So I can then tweak it a little bit. That wasn't spot on. But did you see that? Like I can role play it here. That's getting out of your comfort zone, being comfortable to just show up as you. You don't have to be perfect.
Right. And you know what? This is a tool that everybody should be using. And one of the things I do to research people that are going to be on the broadcast, even though I may know them, or even if I don't know them, as I look at a lot of their content. And you did a video recently on storytelling. And the storytelling, everything we do needs to be an experiential thing. And it allows you to build life stories and use as examples to agents. If we talk in stories, people will more or less listen to what we have to say better than if we say your home is overpriced, you're not like that neighbor's home, so on and so forth. But you talked about something that I thought was really freaking cool, and that was ChatGPT for stories for your kids. Right?
Yeah, man.
I thought that was so freaking cool. Talk to me about the origination of that and how it helps real estate agents.
Okay, so how it helps real estate agents is, well, if your kids are happy, you have a little bit more sanity to actually sell real estate. But this is just the coolest thing. I stumbled upon it in a car ride with the kids. And I was like, I want to give them something to keep them occupied. And you can just ask it, right? You can just say, hey, I've got my kids in the car, Hunter, Everly, and Landon. Create a story where Hunter and Everly are real estate agents and they are trying to save the world from evil interest rates. Say it dramatically. Include the fact that Dave and Drew are the ultimate real estate wizards. Use sound effects. If this is cool, create the story and just go right into it.
Imagine a world.
No. Hold on. Way more dramatic.
In a world plagued by soaring interest rates, two young heroes rise. Hunter and Everly, sibling real estate agents, embark on a quest to save the dreams of homeowners everywhere. Thunder rumbles. Guided by the wisdom.
Dude, tell me it's not next level. That's just like, think about how happy the kids are now they hear that. They engage with it and then they start changing the story. You see, if we use the storytelling inside of ChatGPT to help us tell a better story for our clients, we're going to be able to connect better. And here's the framework I would use. It's something that's already been done. It's called the story brand framework, problem, solution, result. So what's the problem? What was my solution? What was the result? If I look at me as a coach, I say, real estate agents and entrepreneurs think they have to go it on their own. I'm a business coach that harnesses generative artificial intelligence so you can get twice the results in half the time. Let's talk. What's going on in your business? See, I give you a story, problem, solution, result. Very simple. What's the problem with the home that you either sold or the buyer that you helped? What was your solution? Then what was the result? Now, as agents, we think about things to think about them again, to do one more round of thinking, and then you think one more time and make an Apple note. Instead, open up chat right here, and I can have a conversation, say, hey, I want to use the problem, solution, result framework. I want to tell you about a house that I just sold, and I want you to ask me questions so that we can create a story about the house using this framework. And then I ask it, do you understand? And it's going to tell me, yes, I understand. Let me ask you the first question. You see, now I can come up with a talk track, or I can come up with a story so that every single time I'm talking about 1, 2, 3 Banana Way, I'll tell you why it sold. I'll tell you how I helped. Every time I'm thinking about making a post about 1, 2, 3 Banana Way, I could do a voiceover with that same story, and it becomes ingrained. The story is just ingrained in who I am. That gives people, it says, hey, I don't just sell homes, I solve problems.
Here's what's really cool about that is that we can take a lot of things that we've learned. Like we've learned scripts, we've learned dialogues, we've learned. I mean, I think the worst thing that has ever been invented is that thing called handling objections, because I don't think we should ever have objections. And if we do, our objective in the handling of objections is to tell them that they're wrong. Well, we need to go out of our way to make them right. We do that through the stories that you just said, you just discussed, right? And it's just a matter of being a real person. I mean, look, we love to tell stories. I mean, when we're sitting around bullshitting with our friends, we're talking about stories, whether we're talking about Thanksgiving Day football oh, remember my first football game or whatever. We're always telling stories. It's about a story. Think about it. Now, I want everybody to go back to when you're hanging out with your friends or your siblings or your wife. You're talking about stories about what happened to you that day. Why do you change your freaking head when you get on the phone or you get on social and you want to be this professional? Yes, you are a professional, but still, I mean,
You're human.
Human, right?
You're human, man. And I think it all boils down to that one word, right? Curiosity. How curious are you? The most successful people, the Alex Hermosis, the Darren Hardys, the Tom Ferrys, the Mike Ferrys, everyone, Sharon, they're super curious, right? They want to know why. Why? Hey, I'm curious, Mr. Seller. Like, last week you were super excited to accept that offer at 50,000 over. And, now you don't seem so excited. I'm just curious, what's going on? Uncover the things that you'll miss trying to be perfect. I'll say it again. Uncover the things you'll miss trying to be perfect. Be human, have curiosity, and find out the things that you can add value to.
Yeah, and it's years ago, many years ago, I would coach agents to really understand the reason for the move or the reason for the purchase, whatever it was. And I'll use an example, right? So, an older couple moving down south to be with their grandchildren, right? And the guy says, well, I'm not sure I like that offer. We can leave it on the market for a little longer. And I would always coach agents. They'd look at me like I had three heads. I said, well, didn't they say they wanted to be next, live closer to the grandkids? So why don't you say something like, are you going to let $5,000 get between you and kissing your grandson goodnight for another 2 months? Is that worth it?
Yeah. And listen, it's all in the way you say it.
Right.
It's all in. Hey, man, I just want to make sure I understand, Dave. So you told me a couple months ago you really wanted to be close to your grandkids. Listen, I completely understand that. Just so I'm not missing anything, is leaving it on the market. Are you okay spending 2 or 3 more weeks here? Like, I just want to know. Because if you are, that's fine. I'll help serve you in either way. Right? So I'm not trying to force you through a funnel. I'm not trying to force you into a close. I'm leading with empathy. I'm leading with kindness. I'm leading with grace, knowing that you're another human. Now you say, well, actually, Drew, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it.
People need to be reminded through story, not through you telling them what to do. And no one likes to be told what to do. Just like I say, you got to bring value to your customers. Like I say, you got to get uncomfortable, all that bullshit. Let's change. Let's change to something else, right? So as I said, I go through content, right? So one of the things that I saw was talking about agents and how they need to grow, right? And I think the number one thing that agents do not do is look at what they're working with and what they need and how they need to grow, because every agent is going to be now the way we get there is the same by selling and listing homes, but each agent has a different need. How would you say an agent needs to evaluate their needs in order to get on this train of production?
So, okay, hold on. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Right. So
evaluate what needs.
Well, their own personal needs and the personal needs of their business. Because everyone needs to grow in a different way. Scaling is one thing, but you want to get to a certain level. It's evaluating their personal needs, knowing what their expectations need to be, and should those needs and the expectations be limited in where they're going, right?
Okay. So, and what I heard you say, man, is understanding who you are as a person.
Yep.
How that affects your business.
Yep.
I mean, what do you need to be successful? Right.
Yep. That's it.
So I go back to here's where I start. The first 5 fundamental questions. And this is a Darren Hardy, Tom. This is all of those big motivational speakers. This might be a Zig Ziglar thing, but those 5 fundamental questions you have to ask yourself. Number 1, why are you put on this planet? Like, what's your purpose? Number 2, what's your lane of genius?
Right.
Right. Number 3, if I said this correctly, number 3 is it's 20 years from now. How does the world experience you? How does the world experience you? Right. Number 4 is, okay, why can't you have that right now? Why can't you be that person right now? And number 5, as all these things start coming into your space, as you start understanding your purpose, understanding your lane of genius, number 5 is, what are your values? Not your business values, you as a person. Because once you define those, you start attracting those people who have those values. So I think that takes care of this life side. On the business side, you have to ask, what is your lane of genius? Are you that creative person that can create content like a Matt Leonetti or a Brad McCallum, right? Or are you the analytical type that is sitting there in front of a spreadsheet? Once you understand more about yourself, you can then see, okay, here are the weaknesses I have in my business. Here are the strengths. And then again, back 10 months ago or 29 months ago, you would have had to sit with a piece of paper and say, here are my strengths. Now you just open up chat and you have a conversation and you say exactly what you just asked me. I want to figure this out. I want to figure out my strengths, my weaknesses. You can start one of two ways. One, I can say, hey, chat, based off of everything you know about me, tell me my strengths and my weaknesses in my business and my life. Help me create a plan to do better, to get to the next level. And it's going to do that.
How do you teach chat to know about you? Talk to me about
Chat.
that.
So chat understands, and if you're paying $20 a month, and I think if you're not too, but when you pay the $20 a month, it has a memory. So it starts remembering everything about you. Like right now, Dave, you're on this right now on StreamYard, but when you get off, go to chat and say, based on everything you know about me, create me a photorealistic image of what you think my life looks like. And it's going to make you a picture. For me, it had like 6 kids. It had me in like multiple suits doing real estate. And then my pool apparently is in my living room. But it takes everything it knows about me and it puts it into a picture. And it was really interesting. It was eye-opening for me because, wow, yeah, my kids really are, and my wife and my family, like those are the key to my life. And it knew that. And it also saw that split between being a dad and being an executive, like 2 different things, which was fascinating. But now I have such a tool, man, that's going to let me create a plan for my life and my business instead of having to do it all alone. And then the other side, when I'm evaluating what skills I need or what tech tools, I have to just ask myself, do I need a lot of handholding? Cool, there's a place for that. You know, am I okay, or do I need support financially? There's a place for that too, right? We just launched a product called Real Wallet. Real Wallet basically allows you to have your own business debit checking account through a financial institution we're partnered with. So now your commissions, you get them credited to you in a matter of minutes, rather 3 or 4 days, right? You get access to a line of credit based off of your production. So do you need, is one of those things you need more capital? Cool. If you're producing a lot, awesome. You need more capital. Here's a line of credit you can reinvest in your business. Do you need marketing support? Cool. Here are the tools that this brokerage offers. Here are the tools that this brokerage offers. Do you need a coach? It's asking all these questions so you start understanding what you need. Take the first step using something like ChatGPT. Do it in your car, right? So you're away from your family. You're away from people who may fear that, oh, they're going to judge me for asking these questions and not knowing the answers. Sit in your car, have the conversation. And when you leave, maybe you feel a little bit better. Maybe you ask ChatGPT, give me one step I can take right now towards massive action. And it's going to give you that one thing. And then you try it. You try it, as awkward as it is that a robot on a phone is giving you a suggestion. Try it, because once you start to get the momentum's not going to stop. It's only going to drive you forward faster.
What about the skeptical agent? What about the cynical agent? What about the person, the agent that wants this to do all their work for them? What about that agent that says, you know what, I want to make calls, but I'm going to hire a VA to do that?
Okay, cool, man. You must not want to really connect or build a business that's going to last for years and years. Like, do the best surgeons or the best lawyers, the trial attorneys that are working for Skadden Arps in the city. When they were starting out, do you think they had a VA call to nurture their client relationships? When you got married, Dave, when I got married, did I hire a VA to build the relationship with my wife? No. I was in it through thick and thin. I wanted to know everything about her, because as I learned what a beautiful human my wife is, I could see how we fit together even more, how I could serve, how I could be there for her. And it is the same exact thing with your clients. If you're skeptical, listen, that's cool. Dave, why don't we just share a screen of some 18-year-old agent who's doing everything we're talking about, who's out there crushing it, because they are going to take your lunch. And whether you see it or whether you're of this fallacy that, no, Drew, I built a moat around my business. I'm the #1 agent in Clinton Falls. Okay, cool. But there's an 18-year-old who knows how to use a phone, who knows how to ask questions, who knows how to care, that is going to take your clients. And you're going to put your head in the sand. That's okay. That's okay. That's just the natural evolution of this business. I don't want that to be anyone on this call. I don't want that to be anyone of our agents, of your agents, any agent in the industry. I want you to look and be like, I've been in this 25 years. I built a business. I can retire, right?
Right.
And I don't have to worry about selling.
I don't think there's ever been a time where every person that would call themselves a top agent or a top team is not vulnerable. I think they're all vulnerable to have their business go like that. I mean, look, the group that I work with is called Align. It's called Align for a reason. We align, right?
Yeah,
We've grown from 214 million to 400 million in a year. You know, it is because we've all aligned. We've all decided that this is what we wanted to do, right? And there's nobody out there that's in our way, and there's nobody out there that's in any agent's way. If they just decide that this is the way I'm going to do it, this is the way I'm going to be, I'm going to be different. I'll use chat. I won't use chat. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to commit, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this job done, right? And that's knowing what you want to do. I mean, here's one of my favorite things, and I've committed myself to being this person. Now, preface this is my first video was probably 16 years ago. And I always look up that video. I always watch that video. And if everybody's interested in seeing my first video ever, it's on the bottom of my YouTube channel. So it's right there on the bottom. It's there. It's me at my desk. I do have darker hair, etc. But it's a long time ago. But the point is that I don't want to be that kid where I dance like no one's watching. Then we be that kid, right? I want to be the 40-year-old that doesn't give a shit who's watching. That's what I want to be. So, and that's exactly what you've said to do, is understand yourself and use this mighty tool to help you get out of your comfort zone, right? It's also going to help you to bring value. So you have in a multitude of ways, using one tool, showed everybody how they can do that if they want to do it, okay? But I'm still going to tell you that I believe the way to really get to anybody and everybody there is multi-channel, right? And this is the one thing I talk to a lot of people about, because this is the other thing: comfort zone, value. And the other one is, and you mentioned a little bit, cold calling. Not a lot of people want to do it. So I won't do it. I'm going to build my business on social media. So Drew, what are your thoughts on multi-channel marketing and or just using social or just using phone? Talk to me about how agents can build their business with ChatGPT or without it by multi-channels.
Multi-channel at the core of it. Yes, you have to be omnipresent. You have to do something. You put on an Instagram post, it should go on LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, whatever it is.
I don't know.
On all of those things. Okay. So you're, hey, I see you everywhere. At the core of it, though, if you don't want to do cold calling, that's fine. But you still have to pick up the phone every single day, and you have to talk to those people who know, like, and trust you. I think one of the biggest fallacies in our industry that all the major gurus say that, hey, this is just a numbers game. And you say, hey, this is a numbers game, make more calls. The problem with that is that the normal agent says, make more calls. Okay, cool. I got to get into massive action. I got to make more calls so I feel busy. But the thing is, you're feeling busy is leading to you not being productive. Right? If you're able to make calls all day long and it's just to people who know, like, and trust you, and that call starts really simple with, hey, Dave, man, I was thinking about you. I know you bought that new townhouse. You were on my mind this morning. The Giants managed to score 20 points. Dude, what's been keeping you busy? You see my delivery? It's light. You can see my smile. If no one is watching, you can hear my smile. And now I'm just asking you questions. That right there, that one question, what's been keeping you busy? Those words activate something called the norm of reciprocity, which means, Dave, if I ask you that question, when you tell me, yeah, I got the new house, I cooked, my daughter's getting married, my other daughter's not looking to travel because she's pregnant, what are you going to do after you finish telling me what's going on in your life?
What about you, man?
Boom. What about me? Well, things are crazy. I've got the 3 kids, right? 4.5, 3.5, and 15 months. It's absolutely bananas, but I love spending time with them. I'm just conflicted. I've been doing 5 transactions that are closing right now in the Knowles Hill neighborhood. It's crazy because we have multiple offers on all of them. It's taken up a lot of my time. No matter what the news says, it's there to scare, not to care. And the market's crazy right now. So work is just taking up a lot of my time. But you see, I'm giving you a story about what's going on in my life that happens to be about real estate.
So anybody that will watch this today, and today's happens to be November 29th, 2024, day after Thanksgiving. I want you all to know that Drew just stole my playbook, right? He must have been listening to me. He must have been at one of my sessions. He just heard it. He just, that is exactly how I have people describe it's the art of it's the law of reciprocity of conversation.
100%.
Plain
100%.
and simple, because it's just like and I'm going to tell you that it's almost automatic, right? So when I say to you, how's it going? What you been up to? Or I'm sorry, I haven't been in touch in a while. Whatever it is, right? What's been keeping you busy? They're going to ask you the same thing. It's a law of reciprocity in conversation. It happens all the time. So it's one thing that we both understand that absolutely works. Now, that's more sphere of influence than your, than a FISBO or whatever. But it really is where you go with that conversation. And like I said, you stole that from me, or you must have been at one of my sessions.
And listen, the thing is, man, it's so good, dude. We can share it.
No, I'm kidding.
No, I feel you. It's so good because if I'm on a call with you, and I know I have 5 other friends that are close to us in this neighborhood, and what's been keeping you busy? And you tell me, well, the kids, sports, marriage, cooking, life. You give me all of these details. Well, when I'm talking to our neighbor, who very well may know you, now I've got this repertoire of information. And as I really listen to what my neighbor Mike is saying, maybe he's talking about his 2 daughters that are both getting married right now in the south of France. I might have a real response. That's so crazy, Mike. Dave right down the street. Yeah, Dave's daughters. One of them's getting married. The other one is flying in because she's got her second baby on the way. Like, anyway, it's crazy. I just thought that was cool, the connection there. Because now what I've done is I've given like a third-party testimonial almost saying,
right,
I'm talking to these guys.
So I want to give an AI just a little piece there for us. Depending on what you're doing and depending on what your business is, right? I want to tell everybody, while this is a very important device, it's called a phone as well. You need to be doing your conversations in the right CRM. And let me explain what I mean. CRMs used to be 5 years ago. The question was, what's the best CRM to use? It's the one you'll use. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you that the best CRM is the one that actually helps you with AI. It takes notes for you. Right? Yeah. I use Follow Up Boss, and I have a conversation. It gives me notes, and it also gives me suggestions on how to follow up. What's the next things to do? Okay. Right. So if you're not using a CRM like that, see, this is going to help you. You don't have to worry about taking notes, and you can be free to do your conversation and move your conversation forward. So, and that's going to help you. And that's AI supporting your business. So, I'm not sure of any. I'm sure there's other CRMs that do it. But this is just such a great AI tool. I wanted to bring that one forward. That really helpful. What do you think about that idea?
No, listen, I love Follow Up Boss. When I was producing, I used Follow Up Boss. I know we have a partnership with Lofty. At the end of the day, I do agree with our first statement. Find a CRM and use it.
Right.
Use it. If you don't use it, even with the most powerful artificial intelligence baked in, we have Salesforce, we have HubSpot that have just put AI at their core.
Right.
If you have it, you don't use it, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
Right.
So
that's right.
Just look, here's what I tell people to do. I say, all right, start here. Dave, you want to start using CRM? Yes, Drew. Okay, before you start burning $69 a month, I want you to go to the free HubSpot version, okay? Free HubSpot. I want you to prove to yourself that you can use it religiously for 14 days. That's it. Every single day that you work out of it for 14 days. If you can come back and show me a scorecard that you've worked on it every single day in 14 days, it's going to do 2 things. Number one, it's going to prove to yourself that you're out of your comfort zone, that you've leveled up, that you're able to do something new. And then 2, it's going to start spinning this wheel in your head. Wow, this is a system that can really help me succeed. Right. Now you can have a real conversation. Do I need to invest money into it? And the same thing goes for getting a content guy, getting a videographer. I really do believe that the agents that say, Drew, I just need someone to do all my video and my content. That conversation becomes, okay, why? Why? Do you not know how to use a phone? We can talk about that. Are you not comfortable in front of camera? We can talk about that. Are you too busy in your business? We can talk about that. Because you need to understand how to just pick up a phone, have a conversation with your phone camera, and show who you really are, and maybe understand for, I would say, a week on how to post a video to social. Because here's the reason why. If you don't, you're going to hire a VA, you're going to hire a third-party company, you're going to trust them implicitly, and they're going to go and they're going to do it, and they may miss some certain things, right? They may miss certain little levers that you learned about because you're an operator, because you have operated, versus just being someone that says, hey, Nick, go do this for me. You're missing it. Nick, he can execute, but you need to understand what Nick is executing. Understand how to sell a house, right? So do I. We didn't push that off on someone and say, hey, I got the person, go finish, sell them a house. Okay, go do it. No, we can now though, Dave, because we understand how a transaction works. We understand the ins and outs. So we know if there's a skip that's being missed or skipped, if there's something that doesn't look right, we can fix it because we understand how to operate. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. But Drew, I'll look terrible on video. I can't
Cool.
do it. I'll look crappy on video.
Look how you look on videos, how you look when you show up. So then we have a deeper conversation. Like, why do you think you look terrible? Like, I don't think you look bad. I think that button-up shirt looks great on you, Dave. Okay. I think you look like you're in your early 20s.
And I've been saying this for years, and people say, well, I don't look good. I hate the way I look. I hate the way I sound. I have one real easy response for that. Get over it, right? And just remember the most important thing that I've heard from my mentors, my coach, one being John Cheplack, is really simple, right? Your shitty video is going to look so much better than your competition's non-video. Okay, so let's realize that.
Like, I gotta give a shout out to you for doing this for over 300 weeks. Consistency wins. I gotta give a shout out to my man Jimmy Mortgage, right? Jimmy Joseph. I don't know if he's watching this, but like Jimmy, he shows up and he does it every single day for probably like the last 4 years.
Right.
So the video that he's doing is 10 times better than the video someone is not doing.
Well, that's the whole point, right? And that leads us to one thing I want to hit on as we get close to time is mindset and limiting beliefs, right? So we've talked about, as far as I'm concerned, this broadcast today has talked about how to get over, well, I don't know, how do I, what should I do? I think it's answered all those questions, right? But there's still this thing between the ears called your brain that is getting in your way, and you need to knock that fucking wall down. So let's talk about mindset and how to cure mindset issues along with limiting beliefs. Because when someone says, well, I don't call my sphere of influence, I just send them postcards or I run into them. I'm better face to face, and I do that interaction, and that's how I do my business. How much business have you done in the past 24 months? Well, I've had 4 deals. Well, I'm sure you want more than 4. So Drew, talk to me about breaking down that wall of limiting beliefs.
I mean, the limiting belief, you just have to ask yourself, like, why are you here? What's your purpose? I'll give you a story. So my mom, before she passed, she had 64 surgeries before she passed in 2016. And throughout this, me watching her grow up, as I grew up, watching my mother, she was this brilliant attorney, served as like the DA in Philly, super smart, and health and all of the mental illness that comes with being sick and being disabled really created these limiting beliefs in her mind where she would, I can't do it because pain was too much. And she'd just sit there. And I tried everything I could to just try and get her out of her own way to say, hey, do the thing. Tell people the story. Tell people how you are overcoming cancer 4 times, how you've managed to raise 2 children with an absence of a husband. Like, tell that story because it's going to impact someone's life. And when it impacts someone's life, you're giving, and that karma comes right back to you, right? That's, in my mind, that's what brand is. Her brand, it could have been, hey, let me show you, let me share what I'm going through and how I'm succeeding getting past it. So for me, that has become this mission to just help one person, one agent, one entrepreneur realize that the struggles in the life that they're living, that is going to superpower their brand to connect with people and serve other people. So that limiting belief, then, if I know that mission so well, there is not a limiting belief that comes in my mind. There's not a psychology hack that I could use to stop me from pursuing this mission. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that is what should resonate. That think, why are you here? What is the story that has put you where you are? Because once you understand that, it's going to pour gasoline on the fire to get you exactly where you want to go.
It's, it's a matter of being convinced of that this is something you want. It's a matter of being convinced that, this is what I want to do. I mean, you have to look at it this way, right? dear agent that has a limiting belief on whatever it is, has there ever been a time where you felt that way and you said, well, I've got to do this, this, and this. This is that time, right? Fill in the blank. Has there ever been a time, fill in the blank, well, this is that time. Whatever your limiting belief is, fill in that blank and do that. I think that says everything as far as helping ourselves get out. Because, I think, Drew, in the past 48 minutes, I think we have like solved every problem that a real estate agent can have.
Let me give you this, Dave. I'll tell you a story here. So I was a child actor, right? I worked on daytime television as a kid, and I'll never forget. I had a recurring role, nothing super crazy for a couple years. I had a chance to go back and screen test to be a regular on the show, which meant like my entire career would have really kicked off. So I was 18 at the time, and we had just moved to Columbus, Ohio from New Jersey, South Jersey. And, they're like, hey, come back in. The ABC casting director set up all these coaches to really help me get this scene perfect because they wanted to see me on the show. And at the end of the scene, I leaned in, and I would say to the girl, yeah, but they're not me. And then it was like a real slow kiss. So it would have been my first on-screen kiss. So as an 18-year-old, I am like on top of the world. Ego is the size of Manhattan, right? I remember walking in the studio, almost like doing a little skip because I was that good, which I wasn't. And that was my own fallacy. I remember walking in and go to my dressing room. Then I go sit in makeup. And who's sitting right next to me but Amanda Seyfried? You know who she is, right?
Yep.
She's an actress. And at the time, I had just seen Mean Girls. So I'm 18. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Amanda Seyfried. She's so hot. What? So I say to the makeup artist, I'm like, hey, what's she doing here? Oh, she's screen testing for some guy to be on the show. And I'm like, oh, cool. Didn't really think about it too much. Go back to my dressing room. And then I get here with the loudspeaker, please come up to blocking. So they bring Drew Thompson up to blocking. And I end up going up there. I open up the door. Who's there? Amanda Seyfried. All of that ego, bro, just ran out the window. I went, oh my goodness. So I walk in, and there's this big burly Santa looking guy as the director I'd never seen before. And he wasn't very kind, let's say that. And I go there, and I remember getting to that part in the scene, and like my hands are shaking. My mouth is full of cotton balls. And I asked that question. And I remember just going in for that kiss, but not like stopping 6 feet from her face with my mouth open. And like, I'm just like, and like, he leans over and he's like, are you going to kiss the effing girl? I was like, uh-huh. So I ran downstairs, dude, to my dressing room, and I'm like bawling, crying. I mean, we didn't have cell phones at that time, right? So I couldn't call my mom. And in walks like one of my mentors or someone I knew on the show, Josh Duhamel. And this is well before he married Fergie or like any of that. And what he does is he has this conversation with me, and we don't talk about anything regarding what I'm doing. We don't talk about changing this limiting belief where I'm like, I suck. Instead, he starts making me laugh. He starts telling me stories about his life, stories about times that he screwed up, stories about like almost, I cracked open my pants in the middle of a scene. And it was like it split down the back, and I felt like I needed to lose weight. We were laughing hysterically. The coolest part, dude, is what I didn't realize because I was so young and I was stuck in the emotions of that moment. He was flooding my brain with dopamine. He was flooding my brain with these neurotransmitters, these neurochemicals that are feel-good chemicals. And I was in a different place. I was almost euphoric. Then when I got called up to the set to do that scene with Amanda, I was happy. I was in a different mindset. Those limiting beliefs were gone. And I gave her, I still think to this day, bro, the best kiss, far better than Marky Mark could have ever done, that she thinks I should have married Drew. Like, what's Drew Thompson doing? But take this away, man. That you feel like you have those limiting beliefs. You get off this call, you get off any of these calls. You're like, I can't do it. I have not had a deal. Make yourself laugh. Go sit with your kids. Laugh for a couple minutes. See in your kids that they need you to go out and do the thing and have the power. See in your spouse the same thing. Watch a video that makes you laugh hysterically, and then get into action. Get a quick win by calling someone in your sphere, someone that knows, likes, trusts you, who's going to want to hear your voice, because then you're going to get the confidence to say, I really was in my head. Okay, let's call the next person.
That's a great story. That's an absolute great story. You know, man, that's like something completely different that is completely parallel to what we're doing. You know, And let me be corny. It's like, getting that listing appointment is like going in for that kiss, right?
Yeah.
It's like going in for that kiss, So, we have to move forward and really decide what we want and why we want it. I think that's the thing. And when we decide why we want it, if it's strong enough, we're going to do whatever it takes to get there. We're going to be prepared. We're going to practice. We're going to role play either with a human being or with ChatGPT. We're going to do the work. And that's what's really, really important. Drew, if you were an agent that was stuck and they came to you and said, okay, man, look, I need help. Market sucks. I suck. I need to get, energized again. I need to get started again. What would you tell them to do?
Pick up your phone, look at your text messages, and go call 10 of those people. Like scroll down once and then call 10 of them. Just pick up the phone, call them, say, hey, what's up, Dave? I was just thinking about you. Like, you remember that Netflix show that we talked about? Because everyone talks about Netflix. Like, hey, just thinking about you. What's been keeping you busy, man? How was your Thanksgiving? Right? Like, I don't stutter necessarily, but I put an implied stutter in there, so it's vulnerable. That's it. Have the conversation.
That's beautiful. Love that. Love that. Hey, man, I want to thank you so much for being on this broadcast today. We have your technology is easy for me. I used to think, right? We have your Instagram up. We have your email up. It's just really great to be able to do what I do on a weekly basis with this broadcast because I get to bring so many different but similar views. I've had people from all over the country, all over the world on this broadcast. And I've got somebody in my backyard, so to speak, that I've been able to connect with on many different levels. I want to thank you so much for being on today and joining our broadcast and sharing everything that you did. I mean, I think you helped a lot of people. Thank you for that. So,
Hey, thanks, Dave.
With that being said, I've got two more things and it will be done for today. Incidentally, everybody, next week's guest, we're going to have Ed Stulak on, who is a real estate agent, social media.
Oh, Ed is the man.
Ed's going to be on our broadcast next week. So don't miss that. It's a special broadcast. It will be at a special time at 9 a.m. Eastern because some reason, some way, somehow my daughter's getting married next week and I got to be ready by noon for a later on wedding. I don't know, but that's what I got to do. But anyway, here it is. Two things. Number one, how do I help you grow your business?
Me grow up my business, bro. Just show up. Just keep showing up and doing this. Like you got Ed, dude. I love Ed. We're going to do this real quick because I'm going to text him this. We're going to record a video. Ed, what's up, brother? I can't wait for us to go to the hockey game. But right now, me and my man Dave, right here, Dave Finale, we're on his show, TGIF, and you're coming on here next week and you're going to crush it, buddy. That's all. Love you, man. Peace.
Thank you.
Just keep showing up, dude. That's it. I love it. And encourage others just to show up. Don't sell, serve.
That's the whole thing, man. I see. First thing you got to do is wake up. Then you got to show up. And then you got to level up. So if you really want to do what you want to do, you want to really help a lot of people, which will mean you'll make more money later on. 100%. Just level up, man. Level up, whatever that means to you. And last but not least, the hat.
He's bringing in the blue hat. I got a black one
this time, right? So this hat's coming out to you. It goes out to all the guests. Thank you so much, Drew, for coming on with me today. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday. And now we're in the holiday season. So there's going to be a lot of fun. And guys, one thing I want to say to real estate agents out there, don't take another 4 weeks off. Just keep going, baby. Just keep going. All right. Hey, man, see you soon. And thank you a lot. And let's hit the video. We'll see you later.